Y'all, I was so happy when my Dollar Tree finally got in some of these new, larger bamboo cutting boards. So, of course, I had to grab one. And we're going to start out by giving it 2 coats of Rust-Oleum's chalk paint in the color Linen White. I've painted the outside edge of the cutting board with the color Antique Gold from Metallic Art. I seem to have misplaced that footage, so I'm very sorry about that. For this next step, we're going to be using 3 different color paints, and I'll list those for you down in the description box. I am mixing them together some, but I'm not overly mixing them because whenever I dip my sponge into the paint, I want some of it that's mixed all together, but I also want some of each of the paints, if that makes sense, because I'm going to be dabbing it all over the cutting board to create a textured background. I'm using a kitchen sponge from the Dollar Tree. I've just cut it down to a small square, and this part is also strictly optional, but I just thought it would be a fun way to create some texture on the cutting board. I set the cutting board aside and let it dry completely before adding the stencil, and this stencil is from Amazon. I'll have it down in the description box for you as always. I'm just lining it up as best I can, and once I get my placement just right, I'm going to use some painter's tape to hold it in place. For the paint, I've mixed together the colors Granite and Granite Gray from Apple Barrel, and then I'm going to apply the paint with this little tiny sponge dauber, and I get mine from Amazon in a big box. And I tap off most of the paint, and then when I start to apply it, I just use a straight up and down pouncing motion, and I find that that gives me the best results whenever I'm using a stencil. When I remove my stencil, I try to lift it straight up so as not to smudge my paint. And then I'm going to take a little small brush and just fill in that line at the top of the P. And as you can see, even with doing all the things, my word did not come out perfect, but that's okay. This is a shabby chic piece, and I'm going to go back over it later and lightly sand it, and it'll make it look much better. Next, we're going to apply these beautiful transfers to the cutting board, and these are from Amazon, and I'll have them in the description box for you. I've used them multiple times over the last several months, and they are so easy to use, and like I said, they're just gorgeous. One thing I will tell you, you have to be sure of your placement whenever you put them down on your surface, because once they're down, they are there to stay. Just want to take a moment and welcome everybody and say hello. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you're new, hi, I'm Gwen. Welcome to At Home with Gigi. And if you're a mom, happy Mother's Day. I hope you've had a wonderful day today. Once the transfer has fully released from the plastic, I do like to take that piece of plastic and just burnish or rub it over the entire transfer just to make sure everything is adhered to my surface. And as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to take a very fine grit sandpaper and go over this stencil. This is an 800 grit. I get mine from Amazon, and I'm just very lightly sanding over it just to take that gray down a little bit and to help disguise where the stencil didn't come out so perfectly. Now, I'm not going for a really distressed look here. I want mine to be a little bit shabby chic or maybe even cottagecore piece. But if you want yours more distressed, you can definitely sand a little heavier or even go over your transfers just a little bit. Once I finished sanding, I took a dry paper towel and wiped away the residue, and I just felt that the piece was still missing something and I didn't want to add a bow to this, so I decided to add in a couple of these butterflies. This is from the transfer set as well, and I think that's just the perfect finishing touch. I just love this piece. It's very simple, but it's just so pretty, but I would love to know what you think about it. For this cutting board DIY, I'm going to use the smaller of the two bamboo cutting boards, and I'm going to start with giving it 2 coats of Rust-Oleum's linen white. I'm going to set it aside and let it dry. I painted the cutting board front and back to give it a nice clean finish, and we're going to be applying this gorgeous peel and stick paper from the Dollar Tree. I just love these colors and the gorgeous butterflies, but before we do that, I'm going to paint around the outer edge with the color Elephant Gray from Apple Barrel. I did want to mention one thing. When you're using peel and stick papers, you really don't have to paint your surface because the paper is so thick, and whatever the color is up under is generally not going to show through unless, perhaps you're putting it on a really, really dark surface. But I just wasn't thinking and went ahead and painted, but it's really no harm, no foul, and just your personal preference. I went ahead and cut the peel and stick down to a more manageable size, and I'm just figuring out my placement. I want to get as many of these beautiful butterflies on the top of the cutting board as I possibly can, and the paper is split into 2 sections on the back, and I'm going to pull that smaller section off first. And it's already sticky. It's very sticky actually, so you don't need any additional adhesive, but you can, if like I got my placement off just a little bit, I was able to lift it up carefully and reposition it and then smooth it down really well. And I'll just rub that side down as much as possible, and then I'll lift up the other end and peel that larger piece off, and then I'll just repeat the exact same process on the other end and just smooth it out. This stuff is so easy to work with. I absolutely love it. But I do want to make sure that this peel and stick is going to stick to the cutting board. So I am going to come in with the brayer and just roll it over the surface of the cutting board. You really want to hit those edges and the sides and the corners just to make sure that paper is going to adhere. Then to remove the excess paper, I'm going to use a combination of my sanding block and small nail file. We're going to attach these little feet to the bottom of the cutting board and make it a riser. Now y'all, I have no idea what they are or where they even came from. They were in my stash and I thought they would make great feet for the riser. But first we're going to go ahead and give them a couple of coats of Apple Barrel's Elephant Gray. And then while they're still slightly damp, I'm going to dry brush and distress them just a little bit with this Granite Gray, and that's also from Apple Barrel. Then I'm just going to use Titebond's Quick and Thick and just a tiny bit of hot glue to attach the feet, but of course you can use whatever glue you prefer. But I think it turned out absolutely adorable. I love the little bit of distressing I got whenever I removed the excess paper, and you could really make this any color that you wanted, any type of peel and stick paper or even a napkin or tissue if you didn't have a peel and stick on hand. For this DIY, we're going to use another one of the smaller bamboo cutting boards, and I'm going to go ahead and remove the plastic wrap around it. And I'm going to be attaching these half wooden beads, and these are from Amazon. I'll link them down below for you. But before I permanently attach them, I like to lay them out just to make sure I have them spaced properly before I commit to gluing them. Some of you've asked to see our sweet girl Gizmo more often, so I just left her surprise visit in for you. My apologies, but the footage was pretty blurry whenever I first started gluing the beads down, so I just cut that part out. But as you can see, I'm just using Titebond's Quick and Thick. I'm adding a tiny bit onto the bead so it doesn't squish out all over the place. But the great thing about Titebond Quick and Thick, it's easy to wipe away and it dries clear. But as I always tell you, you can use whatever glue that you prefer. I set the cutting board aside and let it dry for about an hour or so before I move on to the next step. because I'm going to be applying what's called a whitewash to the cutting board. And what I'm doing, I'm just dipping my paintbrush into some water, and then I'm just going to dab it into the paint. And this is antique parchment from Apple Barrel. And as you can see, I'm just kind of mixing it around on the plate and just dabbing off most of the paint, or at least I'm trying to dab off most of it. And then I'm just going to lightly brush it over the cutting board. I started out applying this as a whitewash because I wanted some of the wood from the cutting board to show through, but as you'll see later, unfortunately, by the time I got through applying the different layers of paint, even though it was watered down, not so much of the cutting board was showing through. But I did want more coverage on the beads, so I'm using a smaller brush to make sure I'm able to get in between each of the beads. I'm just coming in at all angles and just kind of twisting and turning my brush in order to get that coverage. I wasn't real happy with the color. It was a little bit yellowish and chalky looking to me, so I decided to mix some burnt umber with water, just like I did with the antique parchment, and just brush it over the cutting board. And I just kept brushing over, just lightly brushing over it and just building it up until I got a little bit of a darker color, and I really liked the two colors mixed together. As you can see, by the time I got through rotating out the two paint colors, there wasn't much of the original cutting board showing through, but that's okay. I'm happy with how it looks. But the center of the cutting board was a little too dark. I'm going to be adding a rub-on transfer, and I want to make sure it wasn't too dark in the center. So I did go back over the center with some of the antique parchment and just brighten that up some. This beautiful transfer is from Amazon. I'll link it down below for you. Just centering it up as best I can in the middle of the cutting board and just pressing it down. And I'm just going to use my little wooden tool. Now this didn't come with the set of transfers. It came with another set, but you can always use a popsicle stick or a gift card and that'll work just as well. I'm just going to work my way across with the popsicle stick, just rubbing, just carefully lifting that plastic. Now there were a couple of times I got a little ahead of myself, so I did have to put it back down and go over it. But if you just take your time and work your way across, it just transfers like a dream. Once I've made sure all the transfer has released, I'm just going to use that piece of plastic and just burnish it over the top of the transfer. I decided to darken up the beads just a little bit more, so I went over it again with some of the burnt umber mixed with water. And then I noticed that I had not finished off the back side of the cutting board, so I'm just using a baby wipe and applying some of the burnt umber. This piece is going to be a shelf sitter, and I want to make a stand for it. And I'm just using this backing from a small picture frame. I've already outlined exactly where I want it to go, and I'm just going to use some hot glue to attach it. I love this. It's just such a beautiful, rustic, simple piece. And I just really love the flag and this gorgeous eagle on it. But I'd like to know what you guys think about it. I shared this next DIY with you a few weeks ago, but I just had to share it with you again. Let me know what you think. On a recent visit to Dollar Tree, they had gotten in some of these large cutting boards, so I snapped up a couple of them, and I can't wait for you to see the riser that we're going to create with this. But first I'm going to give it 2 coats of Rust-Oleum's Linen White, front and back. After the paint is dry, I'm going to add a very generous layer of Mod Podge to one side of the cutting board. I'm going to be using this beautiful decoupage tissue from Amazon. It's a little thicker than regular tissue. It's actually almost the consistency of a coffee filter. Very unusual, but I love it. This print is just gorgeous, y'all. Oh my gosh, I wish you could see it in real life. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and trim it down to size, and then we're going to go ahead and attach it to the cutting board. I've already placed a sheet of parchment paper over the tissue, and I'm using my heat press to reactivate that Mod Podge. And since this paper is a little bit thicker, I'm going to go over it a little longer, especially around the edges and corners, to make sure everything is fully adhered to the cutting board. Then I'm going to use my finger sander to remove the excess tissue and clean up around the edges. To seal everything in, I'm going to apply 3 very light coats of matte Mod Podge. I also recommend using a clean, soft paintbrush for this. I'm going to let each coat dry completely before adding the next. I'm going to go in one direction only when applying the Mod Podge. As you can see what I'm doing here on screen, you want to make sure that you don't overwork the Mod Podge. I'm also going to lightly sand in between each coat to keep the finish nice and smooth, making sure to wipe away any residue before I add the next layer of Mod Podge. Y'all, the finish on this is so beautiful. I just absolutely love it. This is going to go on my kitchen table, and it's going to get lots of use, so I wanted to make sure everything is completely sealed, and it is so gorgeous. For the legs, I'm just using these small candle holders from Hobby Lobby. I've given them a coat of Rust-Oleum's Linen White, and now I'm just lightly distressing them with a mix of khaki and nutmeg brown from Apple Barrel. I'm just picking up a tiny bit of each color and just tapping off the excess, and I'm just going to softly brush it over each of the candlesticks just to tie everything in with the background. Now this step is absolutely optional. If you don't like distressing, you can just skip it, but I think it adds a nice touch and just ties everything together. I'm going to use Titebond's Quick and Thick Multi-Surface Glue to attach the legs, but you can use whatever glue you prefer. And then I'm just going to set some bottles of paint on each of the legs and let it sit there overnight. I think this is so pretty. I just love this. I think this may be my favorite of all of the risers that I'm making today, but tell me what you guys think about it, and what do you think about this tissue paper? Thanks so much for stopping by, my friends. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I hope you'll also let me know which one of these is your favorite and if you'll be recreating one of them. I hope you have a wonderful, blessed week, and I'll see you soon.